Okay, quick video. One of the things you can do with a habaki or a ricasso on short swords, whether it be wakizashi or western short swords, is you can grab it here if you blunten this bit of the blade as a sort of emergency technique or a shock technique. Just sort of Hema related techniques. You can flip it round. It's a good pivot point, you see. These are never discussed in WMA, but it's just a sort of emergency technique. It's quite useful. The other thing with short swords, both east and west, is you can do the ice pick grip, as it's called in Kali, or the dagger grip in Hema, or reverse grip in WMA, whatever you want to call it. But you can sort of do that with short swords. You can't really do with longer blades in general. Yes, you can do them, but sort of as a general rule of thumb. So you can also grab in the middle if you sort of blunting most of the edge, or if you have a sort of just a sort of one with tip specialised, with doesn't really have like a sort of shortish stock or something. You can just play around with different ideas as emergency techniques, or even use a gauntlet. But you can, as I say, it's an excellent pivot point here. You can also grab in the middle, but this habaki or ricasso, when you grab it, it's such a good pivot point. It just never gets talked about. It works really good on simple hilts. It doesn't work good on sort of complicated hilts. But anything like a Cossack sword, a Shashka, a Shirasaya type hilt. I know it's a storage blade, but and any sort of simple hilts, the agility you get in the simplified hilt is kind of immense compared to a more complex grip style. So you get the sort of agility and efficiency where you can change and swap, and then your other hand can go at the bottom and swap and just keep swapping and practice the straight stabs as well, that in machete and sort of Mesa machete wakizashi never really it doesn't get practiced, especially in Kali. It doesn't get practiced the way it should be. The straight stab techniques, the thrust, they get neglected. They should be being practiced sort of 50-50 ish, or 2/3 to 1/3, but they do get neglected. A bit like in Western Sabre, again, they're practiced, but I feel like the sort of round stabs and straight stabs, they get neglected with a sort of a so-called cutting style blade. So you should be in the Kali system and in any related system. The straight stabs should be being practiced as well as cuts. But yeah, just a note that the as a sort of shock tactic or emergency technique in WMA sort of situation, or inspiring scenario, it can be. It's just food for thought, really. A bakigra or ricasso on simple hilts and short swords, as well as changing hands. Yeah. So if one hand's at the top, the bottom can be gripped, or if one's at the pommel, then the sort of middle bit can be gripped. The interface, the borderline grip. So whichever, whether you want to go high or low, the other end can be gripped as a swapping technique, and it also can do sort of like swap with the other hand. So if you imagine like the other hand replacing at the top, it can sort of strip kind of effect. So the other hand can, like, if you imagine I had two hands, just for a sec, then the other hand can come here and replace and do that as a sort of it's called a strip, I think, in Kami, like a strip in the blade, so you can sort of take it. It's hard to show with one arm, but you get the point. There's lots of sort of swapping techniques and agility and efficiency techniques and shock techniques, emergency technique, systems. But yeah, that's one way, this sort of pivot point in the back of your grip, with a bit of a blunting blade at the hilt end. As I say, just food for thought.